Hello and welcome everybody. This is Teany Hidalgo, your purpose coach. And today and every Thursday at 9 o'clock is your weekly dose of high vibe, forward thinking, and revolutionary content that encourages you to discover the passions that lead to your purpose. And today I have a very special guest. It's Dr. Nic. Dr. Nic.
Hello, hello.
His name is Nicholas Riccio.
Yeah,
Riccio? What do you prefer?
Riccio. Yes, you said it
Riccio.
right.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. I try.
Yeah, doing
All
good.
right. So let me just make sure that we are live on Facebook.
Right.
Excelente. Perfect. All right. So welcome everybody. Make sure that you send any comments and any questions as I start chatting with Nic over here in the comments below. And he'll be sure to answer any questions as we go along. So that said, let's get into the meat, shall we?
Yes.
All right. So let me give you a quick bio on Nic, Dr. Nic. So Dr. Nic's passion in life is to educate the community on the benefits of maintaining a properly functioning nervous system through chiropractic care while infusing it with fun, practical ways to maintain it in your everyday life.
Right.
So let me just give you guys a backstory on Dr. Nic. Dr. Nic and I have known each other for a few years. He's actually one of my personal chiropractors. And I can tell you that every time I go to the office, I come out of there smiling because he's just so freaking funny. I get a joke from you every chance I can get. So if you guys are interested later on, we'll give you information on how to get in touch with him. But thank you so much, Nic, for being on the show and for, blessing us with your wisdom in terms of chiropractic care.
Well,
Say hi to everybody.
thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay! All right, so let's get into your journey. I want to know, how did you get into this field? Because, I know my reasons for getting into health and wellness, but was there anything that kind of prompted you to move forward in that particular direction?
I was always interested in healthcare. When I
Yeah.
was in college, I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist, actually. And when I was in college, I had a fraternity brother and his girlfriend that were going to chiropractic school. And they were like, yeah, it's really great. There's no medicine and you just work with your hands and blah, blah, blah. And my grandma had been going to a chiropractor my whole life. And sadly, I hadn't because I had suffered from a lot of ear infections as a child. And through my journeys through chiropractic, I now know how it can help. But
Sweet.
yeah, so just kind of fell into it.
Oh, that's awesome. So I know it's like a 4-year school, right?
I went to a 4-year undergraduate. I went to Gannett University in Erie, Pennsylvania. My
Mm-hmm.
studies were biology and a chemistry minor, and then a 3.5-year doctorate program. I went to Palmer College of Chiropractic in Florida. Yeah,
Sweet. Did you practice in Florida for a bit and then come here?
yeah. I practiced in Florida for a little while at a couple different clinics in Daytona and Tampa, and then I found the opportunity to come to New York, and so I jumped on it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. So what pivot points did you have? I know that you said that your grandma, right, was
Mhm.
in it.
Yes, my grandma was under chiropractic care her whole life.
Okay. So what was going on with your grandma, if I may ask?
She was just having wellness care. One of her good friends, his son was a chiropractor in our town actually, so she had been going to him, for just maintenance and wellness, and she lived to 96, so she did pretty
Sweet.
good. Yeah,
Well, if that's any indication,
yeah,
I think we should get on it, right?
for sure. Why not? Right? Make sure your central nervous system is functioning properly.
Yes. So out of all the careers, you could have chosen anything. Did you look at other, modalities? Did you look into anything that kind of was
I
interesting to
did.
you?
I did. I really, like I said, I looked at all different kinds of healthcare fields. I really didn't want to work in a hospital. I really didn't want to work with um, people that were like, I don't want to say really sick, but like coughing and sneezing and bleeding all
Although
over
we,
me.
we do get a couple of those in the office, the
Yeah,
coughing and
every
sneezing at
once in a
least.
while, but we refer them out. It's out of our realm of practice.
Got it.
Expertise.
Okay, cool. So how did you feel that it kind of sat with you? Because I like to talk a lot about how people get in touch with their purpose because it feels right, right?
Mhm.
Was there anything that kind of said to you, I think this is it, guys. This is the field that I want to get into. Did you get any signs about that?
I think I always felt right about it when I was in school. I think that's when more of the practices happened. When I was in school, I had a partner actually that was asthmatic. And
Mm,
this was kind of one of the biggest moment that I knew that it was right for me, because I'd always heard, you know, if someone was having an asthma attack, if you adjusted their thoracic spine, it could stop the asthma attack. So literally, it was like really scary. Like I thought they were gonna die. So
oh
I was
my
like,
God.
whatever, just lay down. Let me adjust you real quick, you know what I mean, before we take you to the
Oh my
hospital.
God.
And I did, and it was like a gunshot adjustment, and all of a sudden they started breathing again, and they were like totally fine, and it was like a miracle. And I was like, I'd say my first chiropractic miracle practicing, and that's kind of when I knew that I was doing the right thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is totally a miracle story. I love that story.
it was a
So
pretty amazing.
yeah, so that said, I mean, let's get into a bit of what chiropractic is, because okay, so full disclosure, I thought it was like y'all are breaking people's bones.
No, no breaking, no
I
breaking.
heard a lot of cracking is involved. This is
Yeah.
before I got into the actual care, right, of chiropractic. What do you guys actually do, and how does it help?
So chiropractors look for subluxation. Subluxation is kind of a big scary word that is highly debated on its true definition, but basically what it really is a bone out of place or that's not moving in the right way, and that puts pressure on the nerve that leaves the bone and innervates various organs, tissues, and cells of the body. So thus
Right.
fixing the subluxation, it allows proper nerve flow to all organs, tissues, and cells of the body.
So now explain how the adjustment of the thoracic on that person, like it fixed her asthma.
Right. There's different areas of the body that work with different nerves. Different nerves come through different areas of the spine and innervate different organs and cells. The thoracic spine organ innervates all the thoracic organs of the lungs, the heart, the chest, the breast, all different types of things.
Right.
And then the
So
lower down you go, it goes with basically with corresponding organs and tissues of that same vertebral height.
so presumably she had something going on with her spine
Mm-hmm.
that because you adjusted it pretty much set her lungs
Yeah,
back
stimulate
in
your
order.
nervous system basically. Yeah, all adjustments stimulate your central nervous system, which kind of like then reset, if you will, your body.
Yeah, cool. So how do you, because I love when I see you in the office, you're just hilarious. How did you find that personality? I mean, you always
Well,
had it,
you
right?
can't teach personality. I'd say I got it from my mama. I don't know.
Well, like, every doctor is different. A lot of doctors are like in and out, right? Like 5-minute conversation with the patient and you're out, right? Like it's
I
a
always
different environment in that office in general, especially with you there. So,
we are a very busy office, so sometimes it gets hard to really have lengthy connections with patients because we are so busy, thankfully. But I always say laughter is the best medicine, and I try and have a good attitude because ultimately I feel like no one comes to see you for a bad time, and it's like they want to feel better. So I do the best I can to make people feel better.
on all different levels, right, Nick?
I do my best.
Awesome, awesome. So, I think you said there are some people that were doing chiropractic, and that's how you kind of got into the field. Was there anyone else that kind of inspired you to get into a health and wellness field?
I had, growing up, I came from a very large Italian family in Western Pennsylvania, and they were a very hardworking family. My parents owned a restaurant, but I had some members of my family that were nurses, and some of my cousins have since also became doctors of different fields. So it was just, I came from a family of immigrants. My grandma didn't have any education, so they really wanted her grandchildren, all of her grandchildren, to have an education. So they always strived hard and pushed hard for that. So for that, I'm grateful.
Sweet. Did you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have two brothers and a sister.
Okay. And did they think you were crazy to crack people's backs?
I think everyone thinks I'm crazy,
Well,
but
but
that's okay.
that's for other reasons.
You gotta be a little crazy to do something different in this world. And I feel like trying to teach people about health sometimes it's crazy because people are going to do ultimately what they want to do. So I try and make it fun because it's can be not fun. You know what I mean? And I think that
Yeah.
if you make it a little bit more fun, it makes it more fun.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I want you to talk about, which is one of the reasons why I stay, because I have actually tried different chiropractors. And what I love about you guys is that you guys infuse like practical things that you can add to your everyday that help, right? Like I'm always asking you questions like, Nick, my lower back is out. What were you doing? Well, how are you sitting? How do you sit at your desk? How do you, like there are always things that you're doing that actually cause these things to happen, right?
The biggest thing is thinking about it. Our brains are wired to learn in patterns. How to brush your teeth, how to walk, how to do different. For me, I walk up the stairs with my right foot first and down the stairs with my right foot first. And if you sleep on your left side with your right leg twisted over, you create these patterns in movement, and your body responds to keeping it that way. So there's really, different things that you have to do, neuromuscular re-education, like really actively trying to force your body to do things different ways, like brushing your teeth with your left hand, or sleeping on the opposite side of the bed every Tuesday and Thursday, or forcing yourself to walk up the stairs with your left foot first.
Right.
Things like that. Holding onto the railing because I don't want you to fall, obviously. Safety first. But yeah, just like really trying to actively analyze yourself. Because I always tell my patients, I could adjust you until the cows come home. But if you spend the rest of your time hunched over your phone, it's not gonna really.
Oh my God, let's talk about that, because
that's one of my biggest passions is people with their, and you can attest, every time I'll point my finger at your face like this and say, don't do it. Well,
Guilty.
I'll go to the side so you can see. Holding it up, not down. Right?
Yes.
That's why I can't ride the
Nick.
subway anymore. I can't stand it.
I bet you'd be walking down in the subway like, guys, come on, adjust.
Sometimes people think you're taking pictures of them, but let them. You're starting a revolution.
It is a little awkward to be holding your phone like this, I have to say. And actually,
it can be.
Yeah, and I try to hold my books because I like to read also. So I try to hold it like upright. It is a little awkward, but
safe when you're not walking in dangerous locations. That's the only time you should use your cell phone to read a book, right? Am I right?
True. Although I do have my Kindle on my phone, but
safety. Safety
okay,
first.
I won't be walking and doing that. I'd be sitting down somewhere. Don't worry, Doc.
You have enough time in the day to do what you need to do.
Exactly. So I have a question for you. Like, I've seen all kinds of patients come to the office,
yes.
And I've seen, because I live in a neighborhood where there's a high population of older people. Mm-hmm. We're talking like over 70, right? So I've seen people like hunched like an L, right? Mm-hmm. Like I've seen all kinds of crazy. So what's like the worst, patient or worst condition you've seen, and how long did it take to like adjust and help?
There's been so many different conditions. I'd say some of the mostly grossly negligent cases are people that have been kind of almost abused through the healthcare system, with multiple surgeries and on multiple medications, and just kind of at their like wit's end, to be honest with you. And it's so devastating to see them come in, but then, through care, after months, obviously, once you progress to certain levels, it takes a lot longer to see different things. But everybody's body is different, and everybody's body responds differently to care. Sometimes after the first adjustment, there's a miraculous miracle, but sometimes it takes 3 months. You know what I mean? Everybody's body heals at different rates. But I've seen patients not able to even get down on the table when they come in, and then 3 months later they're running marathons. So it's like there's such a the babies that can't feed, you know what I mean? That's hard, and they can feed. Obviously, feeding is very important for children, right? So mothers come in and they're highly agitated, obviously, and it's like, can you help me? Everybody else hasn't been able to help me. I want my baby to eat. Someone told me that maybe you could help, so I've done everything else. So maybe you can help. You know what I mean? And it's exciting. It's exciting, but sometimes you're dealing with people almost at their absolute breaking point. So that can become a little bit stressful at times, because, and I think that's sometimes humor can be lacking at that point. And obviously, there's times to use humor and there's times to not. There's people when they're in so much pain they don't want to laugh, but sometimes it helps. So it just it all depends on.
And I feel like there's so much stigma around chiropractic care. I mean, I came in when I was pregnant, and I'm sure people thought I was nuts, right? Like, why would you come in? You're carrying a child. He's going to adjust your back. Like, yeah, that's exactly why I'm coming.
Exactly, because your body's changing, and your center of gravity is changing and your ligaments are a little bit more lax now. And there's lots of different things. We see a lot of different patients. We actually have a children's adjusting room, which I know that you know, with toys and, pregnancy pillows for the mommies with the baby so their belly can go in when they're pregnant. And,
Yep, been there.
There's been, miracles with, that, conceiving children. And that's always, patients come in not to get pregnant, but they'll say, I have good news. I'm pregnant. We weren't trying. And the first time we had a baby was really hard. We didn't try at all. And all of a sudden, we're pregnant. And I'm like, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
Your body is functioning properly. Your central nervous system is working properly. And when your central nervous system is working properly, everything else can too. So that's why it's important.
Absolutely. And I just want to mention my own personal story. Well, first I did come in when I was pregnant, and that was just amazing because seriously, when you're pregnant, everything goes to SHIT, right? Your joints are out of whack. Your hips get wider. Everything is loose.
Yeah, I hear you.
All kinds of craziness is happening. So, I mean, I'm grateful that I had you guys to help me through that. And actually, my son has been adjusted there too a couple of times.
You're able to bounce back like nothing, right?
I'm back. Yes, actually. And I mean, I lead a fairly healthy lifestyle, but I mean, it's because I've also incorporated chiropractic as part of my care.
Yeah, it's not the end all be all to healthcare, obviously.
Right.
If you're just going to see a chiropractor, you're going to be healthy. Obviously, it takes a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle, exercise, different things like that.
And I have to say, I mean,
just awareness.
Right, absolutely. And as a massage therapist, I've actually recommended a lot of my clients who have persistent issues with their back to actually visit a chiropractor. And I actually had one particular patient come back to me and say, oh my God, I went to the chiropractor. It's working.
I can't believe it.
And it's great. I mean, not that massage therapy doesn't help, but there's different, there's different modalities for different purposes, right? Like we can help release the muscles, but at the end of the day, if you have a subluxation, I can't help you with that, right? That's the chiropractor's job.
The muscles are holding itself tight for a reason, to protect that joint.
Exactly. So when I started coming to the office, I actually had another friend who came who was going through some stuff with her back and whatnot. And she's like, I can't, I'm feeling numbness. I'm feeling tingling down my fingers, my shoulder. And she's like, maybe you should see a chiropractor.
Right.
Something's going on. So I did end up coming to you guys. And I think I was going like 2 or 3 times a week at first. But I mean, it was insane, right? Like I had a brachial plexus issue, like on my shoulder, like all kinds of crazy things happen. And I still occasionally get it, right? That's why I continue to come back so I can keep the adjustment. But the important part of this is really like for you to be conscious of what you're doing, right? Of
course. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
You have to be your own healthcare advocate, and
absolutely.
Time, and it's hard.
It is. And to your point about like, how you're holding your phone, like, do you have any typical tips that you give people? Like, whether it's the phone, whether it's how they sit in the chair, like, are there things that you tell people?
I always say, pretend like you're a puppet and there's a string attached to the back of your head and it's pulling you up and back. And I'll say tits to Jesus too. Because if your chest is down, no matter how hard you pull the tits up and the head can go back. And that one came by accident.
I haven't heard that one yet. You never tell me that one.
That one came by accident one time with a patient. I said it by accident, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I shouldn't have said that."
It worked out.
He came back a week later and said, "Thank you so much for saying tits to Jesus. I told my wife, and now every time I do it, she says tits to Jesus." And I remember, he's like, "I've been working on my posture, and it works." So I was like, "Okay, maybe that works." So.
And
I don't tell everyone that. You have to know your
only words appropriate.
Exactly. Only when people have a sense of humor.
I won't repeat the jokes that you told me, Nick.
No, those are private.
Those are private.
Those are my favorites.
But I do have to say, like, a lot of the tips that you've given, and I also give certain tips to people, it's kind of an energy shift, isn't it? Like when you tell people raise up your head, like, you have channels, right? And that's channels to your nervous system, channels through your bones, like your muscles. And so once you start like opening yourself up and raising your head and like, standing upright, like you're doing right now.
You're inspiring me. It makes me feel better.
Exactly. It does. And especially if you have your chest up, right? Like
Yeah,
it's you're receiving
you get
energy.
flow.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So it actually feels good. So it's not like you guys are just talking smack.
Mhm. I know, you know,
It's for a
it
reason.
works. It works.
All right. So I'm curious, have there been any kind of drawbacks? Were there any like, impediments or anything going on, any pivot points you had while you were going to chiropractic school that was like, oh my God, maybe this isn't the right thing for me or anything like that?
Um, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about that before. I would say no, since I'm still doing it over 11 years later.
Clearly you
But
made it.
but it was hard. The school was definitely hard, and testing was very difficult, and it was very grueling. We learned, every part of the body and
Right.
dissecting and cadaver lab. It was difficult, but I loved it actually. I missed school. So I would say it kind of ruined me for pleasure reading for about 10 years, but I'm trying to get myself back into reading for pleasure again.
I'm with you. I like reading all kinds of like health related books too.
Yeah, yeah, but so I would say no. I would say I'm pretty
Okay.
happy with my decision. I like to share. I like to share my passion with people, and that's why I was excited to be
Excellent.
here today.
So, what would you recommend for people that are kind of on the fence and like, oh my God, I don't know where to go? I'm curious. Like maybe they're into health, but they're not sure which path to take. How would you advocate for chiropractic?
Well, different people have different problems, and different people come to a chiropractor for different reasons. Unfortunately, not most of the time, a lot of the time, people come, as I said, as a chance of last resort. They can't stand up straight, they can't do anything anymore, and by that point, it takes a little bit longer to rehabilitate the person. But if someone, would come in that's a relatively healthy person with no debilitating problems, there's different care plans. We do an evaluation, and we generally take x-rays. We do motion study x-rays, which are really great because they show you how your body moves in motion, which is most important. So we do a whole different analysis to see what's really going on with your body, because as I said, everybody's body is different and everybody has different problems. But yeah, you could come to either our office or any chiropractic office, um, and just get an evaluation.
Yay.
Yeah,
So
easy.
how about for people who are interested in the career? Like what would you say to them about getting into this kind of career?
Getting into this career it's a great career. I love helping people naturally, and I think it's the wave of the future now with a lot of the things that are going on in the healthcare system that I don't really want to get into during this discussion. That's a whole nother discussion. I
But
think
it can prevent a lot of issues, let's put
it
it
could
that
prevent
way.
a lot of issues that could be avoided and should be avoided.
So once people are better, what do you think is a typical strategy for continuing care?
That all depends too on the person and the level of stress and what they do for work. But for an average person with a normal, healthy lifestyle, I'd say either maybe once a week. In the city, it's a little bit more of a high stress lifestyle than most other places. Once a week, once every other week. Some patients come in once a month. If they're retired or whatever their case may be.
Mhm.
It's a case by case basis. And most patients that are seen regularly then learn their bodies and can say, oh, now I know I need to come in, because if I don't, something else is going to happen. I'm going to feel worse. You start to learn yourself. And that's one of my favorite things with my patients is when they go, it's been 3 weeks. I was going to come in next month, but I could feel that I needed adjustment this
Right.
week. So I came, and that's the coolest thing, because then you're aware of your body. You're aware of what's going on, or, and that's what's great.
Have you had any like difficult patients that were like resistant?
Oh, never.
And he's not talking about me, by the way.
All of my patients are amazing. No, I love everyone. Some patients are more difficult to love, as you know. But everybody has their own problems, and that's just what you have to ultimately, at the end of the day, understand. Everybody comes to you ultimately to feel a little bit better. And so that's what we try and do.
But has there been anyone that's come into the office like, I don't need this, but my husband told me to come in and
Oh
like
yeah, for sure. I had one lady came in once with her daughter. Her daughter was a patient, and she brought the mother in, and the mother was like, "Oh, I'm fine. I don't need anything. I don't have any pain. I'm fine." She was in her probably 60s, 70s. It's okay. great. I don't want you to be in pain. I don't want, no, I don't want anyone to be in pain. So I took her x-rays and her spine was just so destroyed. But she was so convinced that since she had no pain, I was like, look at this picture. You know what I mean? Like, but, everybody,
Clearly,
as
there
I
was
said,
something going on.
everybody's different. And women tend to have a generally a higher threshold for pain than men anyway. So usually you know, when the women come in a lot of pain, then I know that that's something serious.
Well, speaking of the shit hitting the fan, what do you think are a couple of major beliefs that limit people from actually, pursuing this type of career and from like moving forward with their passions and like things like that?
I would say probably fear. I think to live in the all natural healthcare community and try and promote that can be a difficult task because people only, as you know, some people are obviously more open, but people have a tendency to have strong beliefs. And sometimes to break those beliefs, not break them, but just to bend them, it can be a little bit of a difficult task at times. But generally speaking, most people that come to your office are looking to come to your office. They're not just coming to argue with you. There's very rarely people coming in there, they're looking to start a fight. Most people just want to get better, but yeah, I would say just the long education might be a little bit daunting towards a lot of people, and there are exorbitant education costs, which can be a little bit
Right. Although I suppose a
eye-shocking.
4-year degree is pretty standard these days.
Yeah, but then the chiropractic degree is on top of that, like
Right.
another double or triple. Plus, it
It's
can be
worth it.
the loans could be a little bit dicey. So I think if that would be the only drawback, I think then that's good.
That's
Right?
good. That's good. And I think it's worth it. Yeah. And I say the same about massage therapy. Like if
Mhm.
you're really interested in helping people and that's really what you feel your calling and your drive is, then, figure out which modality is the one that works best for you and just take classes, try them out, shadow somebody, like just, see if
Yeah,
it's the right thing for you.
of
Yeah.
course, you can be the best you can be, right?
Yeah.
That's all about.
So when the shit is hitting the fan in the office, back to that.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that.
Or when you're stressed out, like how do you handle stress because I mean like you're dealing with people and anything that is a service practice of any kind where you're having to work with people can
Yeah.
be stressful, right? Because you're dealing with people with their personalities, with their problems, obviously,
And pain is,
and
is
pain.
also a stressful thing to deal with. So I don't know. It's just kind of just do it. I don't know. I just kind of like internalize it. I try and take their pain away from them if you can't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that can be exhausting. Sometimes some days are more exhausting than others. Some days the S hits the F more often than others.
So how do you unwind? Because I mean, you
Lock
guys,
myself in the bathroom and wash my hands.
and that's true. Well, that should be after. I mean, like for me in massage therapy, I wash my hands after every.
Oh yeah, I lock the
Cleanse
door and
yourself.
a little water over the face. Take a couple deep breaths. Bless it and release it. That's
So
what my
true.
mom always say. You bless it and release it and let it
That's
go.
right. That's
Mm-hmm.
important, especially if like, because I do the same thing. I like take it in, but it's important to let it out, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't just take it
I
in and
tend to
keep
do
it.
that when I get home. I do like a face mask in the bath is usually my de-stressing routine.
Sweet.
Everybody has different things. I always encourage people to find your inner bliss and what makes you feel good.
Yes.
Maybe it's just sitting on the chair with the lights out. Who knows? But whatever it is that makes you feel zen.
Do you
I
ever feel like you have to sit in silence after seeing all those people?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. I'll just come home and just like sit, and then I'll realize I'm watching the news. Turn the TV on and realize I never turned it off the news for like an hour, and I watched the same thing like 3 times. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably turn it off and go to bed.
You were in the zone.
I don't really like watching the news that much, anyways. But I'll just kind of like
Yeah.
play. But yeah,
Most of it is negative news. We don't need
yeah.
that.
I don't like to absorb that energy.
Awesome. All right. So, how long have you been doing this now? For how many years?
This is my 11th year.
Oh my
I
gosh, that's a really long time.
had my 10-year anniversary reunion a few like 6 months ago, which was fun in Florida.
Woohoo!
Yeah, got to see my friends.
Yes. So,
And
what's your advice now for people who want to just pursue their dreams? Like, what do you tell them?
I say just go for it. Life is too short and no one's guaranteed it tomorrow. So, just do what makes you happy. And if it doesn't make anyone else happy, then find somebody else.
That it will.
Yeah, right?
And maybe get an adjustment so you could be more clear-headed and then go make a decision.
Definitely get the energy flow.
The blood and the energy flowing. Absolutely. Awesome.
Stimulate the central nervous system.
So I just want to tell everyone a quick story about how I came into your office because like I was saying, like I've been going for, I can't even remember how many years, maybe almost as long as you've been a chiropractor.
Oh, wow.
Possibly.
Wow. You must have been, what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is only the anniversary of my 21st birthday. Hello. So
Birthday twins.
that's right. Oh my God, I forgot to mention that. So Dr. Nic and I have the same birthday, May 23rd. Hey, Gemini's rock.
Yeah.
So when I came into the office, like I had all kinds of things going on. Like first of all, I was working in the city, already stressful, right? I was carrying a heavy ThinkPad laptop, which it was like at that time it weighed, I don't know, 25 pounds. And imagine I was carrying it in one shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that stress and also walking to the train because I had to take the train to go back home. So all of that physical stress plus emotionally, a lot of things were going on at work. And I mean, that's when things were getting out of control. And that's when I started feeling like, and then, these things obviously, don't happen overnight. Like, unless you actually throw your back out at
Right.
like by doing something crazy. Right. And even when you do, like you've told me that when you throw your back out, like sometimes it's because it was going to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. It's stress.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that pretty much had been happening for some time. So by the time I came to see you guys, it was like, okay, this has been going on for years, girl. It's going to take a little bit to like decompose, decompress everything that's been going on. And I mean, like I said, I was going 2 or 3 times a week when I first started going. And then now I only go like once a week or every other week when I can.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, plus I went when I was pregnant, testament to the care and like how important it is to really have a healthy spine. And even in yoga, they talk about this, like a healthy spine is a healthy life, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So
we have a lot of, with the location of our office, we're blessed to have a lot of different, actors, exercise people all over, fitness instructors and just amazing patients. And the dancers are always my favorite because they always, are very aware of themselves, they're constantly aware. And that's the biggest thing is being aware. Everybody wants to think, oh, I can just work on my laptop like this for 16 hours and crunch my numbers to do whatever,
and I'll be fine.
And I'll be fine, right? I gotta do this. I gotta make the donuts, right?
Yeah.
So, being aware is the biggest thing, and that's why since you're a dancer, it's always great. You have the great awareness of your body and the positioning, and that's a great thing for a chiropractor because it's they'll be like, oh, I can't turn to the left or I can turn to the right as much, and like my teacher or my instructor will tell me in the mirror my right turnout's less than my right, or it's cool. I like it's chiropractic geeking chiropractic.
And I mean, nobody's body's perfect, like they say that everyone's feet are not the same size and things like that. So you got to expect to work with your body the best way that you know how, but obviously like get the care that you need to make sure that it's always working and functioning properly.
I'd say everybody's body is perfect, my love.
In their own special way.
You just need to know how to rein it in, right? To get it to its best perfect.
That's right.
You are the best you that you can be.
That's right. So if any of you guys have questions for Dr. Nic, please post below. Any questions about chiropractic care? I don't know if you can answer questions on conditions, so let's not go there. Call the office.
Make an appointment.
Make an appointment. So that said, like, where do you work? And I'll give them the number in a moment.
Yes, I work at New York Chiropractic. It's at 91 Central Park West, 69th and Central Park West.
Yeah, it's right across the street from Central Park, which I love because I love going to the park right after the care whenever I can.
Put feet on the ground and get rid of all your negative energy.
Yeah, right? Seriously. It's like all that lush green green trees and so delicious, right?
It is lovely.
All right, so you can find him at New York Chiropractic Life Center, and the number is, and actually I'll post this here. The number is 212-580-3350. So I'll post it right now. If you guys are interested, I highly recommend. Like I said, I've been going for years, and a few friends of mine have. And actually, I had one of your patients as well, Alicia. Alicia, which is where I met her, actually,
Yeah.
at your office.
She's wonderful.
She's one of the dancers that we were just talking about, right? And she has amazing posture.
You brought her up.
Yeah, and her posture is exquisite, of course.
Superb. She's superb in every way. She's a star, that little one.
Yes, yes, yes. So where can we find you on social media so we can reach out to you?
On Instagram, Dr_Riccio, Riccio is my last name. Or on Facebook, Nicholas Riccio.
All right. Yeah. And you can find him as one of my friends.
Yeah.
My friends.
We're buddies.
As well as, birthday twinsies, because that's how.
Yeah. You can send your belated birthday request.
Any birthday presents are welcome.
You know it. Any healthy birthday presents.
Yes, please. All right. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you post it below, and we're at the top. So any final thoughts on the work that you do and the service that you provide and just chiropractic as a whole, or anything about yourself?
Wow, that's a lot to think about.
And not all at once.
I would have to say, come in and say that you heard me on your podcast here, and we can help you out. And we'd love to see you.
Yeah, he'd love to help you. That's for sure.
Love to help you. Love to analyze your spine and tell you how we can fix yours.
And he might tell you a joke or two while he's at it.
If you're lucky, if you're cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining, and thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
We will have this posted on Facebook, so if you like it, and if you think someone can have value from this, please share it, because it's been I can't tell you how extremely valuable this has been for me personally to get chiropractic care, which is why I had you on the show, because I'm like, people need to know that this stuff is legit. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that you heard about chiropractic is not true.
Well, I don't know about all of it, but
not from you guys.
The bad things aren't true.
Right.
Good things out there too.
You just have to go to the right doctors. That's all.
Of course, that's the same in any profession. You have to find good and bad in every profession. And unfortunately for chiropractic, I feel that the bad has gave a pretty bad stigma to a lot of the profession, but that's not 100% the case.
Right. Like I said, not all doctors are the same. So I can vouch for Dr. Nick and Dr. Hat from the office.
Yes. We have a wonderful team, Dr. J, Dr. Ross, and I.
And their secretarial staff is also equally hilarious and awesome.
They're amazing. The girls, Leslie, Ina, and Marcia, are second to none. You will feel right at home in our office.
Yes. And if you guys are watching, we love you.
Yes, we love you. And we will see you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all day, Tuesday, Thursday, mornings.
Yeah. I'll see you next week in the office, Nick. I will.
I will be waiting. You're my favorite. Ray of sunshine.
Aw. Well, I am wearing yellow today, so I try.
Your new hair looks gorgeous.
No, thank you. Well, thank you, Nick, so much for joining again. I love talking about this particular field, and I'm so grateful that you guys were on, because I want it to inspire people to get, on top of their health and take this stuff seriously, especially for people like myself who are sitting at a desk. If you guys are constantly, even people like bus drivers, people who are constantly doing the same kind of work, same positions, or even if you're in crazy work. I have a couple of friends who do construction who are hello.
I have a lot of patients that do construction. I had a new patient today that does construction. I have ones that do construction in Central Park, which is always very interesting.
Oh, interesting.
I love hearing the stories about it's there's so many different people and repetitive motions. No one was really meant to do repetitive motions every day. We were all animals, basically. We're supposed to be hunting and gathering,
Right.
But it's the repetitive motions which get you.
I always wonder about the people who do that drill and I'm just ooh.
It could be rough. I don't think you could do that job for very long.
I don't think so either. I'm like, that's bound to cause a problem soon.
Lots of them, in my opinion. They'd
Yeah.
have to be almost every day.
Yeah. So I'm gonna send those people to you when I see them. Like,
Yes,
you guys
please.
need some help? Like,
We can help you. We'll have to get a bigger office.
well, thank you again for joining. Again, you can find Nic on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you want to get an adjustment or learn more about the office and the practice, you can go to New York Chiropractic Life Center. Again, the number is 212-580-3350. And I can totally vouch for these people. They are amazing. Dr. Nic and the Dr. Hanson, just the whole staff is just amazing. So thank you again for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. I'll see you next week.
All
See
right,
you
bye-bye.
guys next week. Bye.